All right, can you guys hear me? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to be doing a room called Hacked today. This is in Try Hack Me. So if you want the write-up for this room that we're doing, it is at BlackGirlsHack.org/Friday Night Lab. And I will put the password into the chat window. And at the very bottom, if you need to follow along with this. So what we're going to do is there are some PCAP files that are associated with this exercise. When you download those PCAP files, they actually download to your host machine as opposed to your attack machine. So what I'm going to recommend is if you don't have Wireshark on your host machine, that you go to Try Hack Me within your attack machine, join the room and download the files from within there, and then just close out the window so that you can be able to access the files within your attack machine. So when you do that, it should put those files into your downloads folder, or maybe your desktop. It puts it on root. And then you can double click on it, and then it should open up Wireshark for you. And if that doesn't work, you just open up Wireshark and tell it to open up the file. So any questions so far? Anybody new and not sure how we got this far? Any issues, or can I move on? All right, so if you are not familiar with Try Hack Me, what you're going to do is you're going to log in. You can get a free account. You do not need to pay. And then you're going to click on Learn, and then All Rooms. And then in the search bar here, you can just type in H4, and that'll bring up the room. It is a free room. You can say join the room. It'll be right about here. And then you want to launch the attack machine. It'll be a blue button at the top. And let me just show you in the write-up. So okay, so it'll be, I don't have it in the write-up. It'll be a blue button up here that says start attack machine. And it will be, you're going to click here to download the files. But you want to do that inside of your attack machine so that you can use work inside the attack machine. But yes, it is blackgirlshack.org/FNL for Friday Night Labs. You want to share your screen? Oh, you don't want to share your screen? Oh, there we go. All right, so put in the password. Okay, cool. All right. So what I just, like I said before, if you do not have Wireshark on your host machine, you should go launch a browser in your attack machine once it gets up, and go to tryhacksme.com, log in with the username and password, come into the room inside of the terminal, and then download the task file so that you can get the file on your host machine and open it up from there. Because most of the things that we're going to be doing in this room have to do with Wireshark. So this is a workaround in case you don't have Wireshark on your host machine. All right, so it seems like our machine has gotten hacked by an anonymous threat actor. However, we are lucky to have a PCAP file from the attack. Can you determine what happened? Download the PCAP file and use Wireshark to view it. So if you were using this in like a real world scenario, you may have some kind of indication on your threat manager or your event manager saying, hey, we think that there's been an attack. So you may be charged as a security operations center person to go and check out the Wireshark file to actually see if you can get evidence of what had happened. Okay, so Wireshark is used for that process. So you can either double click on the file to open it, or you can say file open and then find the location of the file, which should be on your probably your root folder or your downloads, depending on where you did it to. So mine was downloaded onto my root folder, so I can open that up and be able to look at it. So if you have never used Wireshark before, you'll find that there's some couple of things that you're going to want to do when you get in here. So the first thing is that you can follow a stream. So what that means is that it'll show you all of the information that's related to the packet that you're taking a look at. So the quickest to do that is to right click and be able to say follow and say follow TCP stream. So of course this works for TCP streams, but there is a follow UDP stream for UDP. So make sure that you're looking at whatever it is that you're looking at. So in this case, it shows us that someone was logging in with FTP, and it gives us some username and password information, which we may be able to use later, but it also tells us in this particular case that our password is incorrect. So that was not actually the correct password. But you'll see that if you are looking at traffic that is that was sent via FTP, FTP is very insecure because all of the information is sent in plain text. So what you'll see is that anything that gets typed in the terminal, you can actually see word for word on the screen. So you'll see that there's no encryption here. There's no obfuscation at all. You'll see exactly what was typed in, what the terminal responded with, and anything else that's related to this conversation. Okay, so this is how we're going to gain information. We're going to take a look at the packets that are related to whatever questions that were being asked so that we can figure out who has attacked us in this scenario. So a couple other things that I'll just point out for you. One of the, if you're doing a Wireshark, taking a look at a PCAP for, like, for example, a capture the flag competition, another good source of information is the export object. So specifically the export objects, if there's an SMB server that's on there, or if there's an HTTP server, you can find out information from there. So you'll see there's some, looks like some packets here that were exported, but there's no information about those. So that's not going to be very helpful to us. But you should just note that if you wanted to, you could download and save all the exported objects that you happen to find, which is why I recommend that you guys, if you're analyzing PCAP files, to download them on a VM or not on your host machine, because if there is something malicious that was downloaded in there, you're able to save that, and that might be able to infect your host machine also. So just make sure that you are being careful. So they actually staged this PCAP file for us. So hopefully everything in here is safe, but still, just to be on the safe side, just make sure that you're putting it into your attack machine instead of your host machine, especially if you don't have Wireshark, because you're not going to be able to analyze it. All right, so can you determine what happened? Download the PCAP file and use Wireshark to view it. So we can say completed because we have downloaded that file. All right, so before we get going, any questions on how I got this far? Because I don't want you guys to get left behind. You can either type in the chat or unmute yourself if you have questions. All right, I don't see any questions and I don't hear any, so I'll just keep me. All right, so it looks like the attacker is trying to log into a specific service. What service is this? So if you're not familiar with TryHackMe, they usually ask you a question. They give you a format. You can tell what kind of answer they're looking for because they usually give you 1 star per character within their answer. So whatever service they're looking for is going to have 3 characters in this case. And then you can also, if you want to, get a hint, right? But we can kind of take a look at this to see what the answer is going to be. So if we scroll all the way to the top of the file, you'll see that these are in numerical order, right? So when it sends a packet across the network, that packet gets recorded in this packet capture file, right? So we'll see that initially, you'll see that this is going from a source port of 57864 and it's going to a destination of 21. So it's doing a whole bunch of send to port 21 on this computer, right? So port 21 is FTP. All right, and if you're not familiar with what port 21 is, you can always take a look at it. But that's where all of the packets are, at least the first, 6 or 7 packets are being sent to port 21, which is FTP. You'll also notice that all of these are send packets. So typically when we're talking about packets that are being sent, if we're setting up a handshake between 2 computers, you'll have a send packet, then you'll have a send ACK, and then you'll have an ACK, okay? So in order to have a connection between 2 computers, you have to have all 3 pieces of the 3-way handshake, okay? So if you don't get all 3 pieces, then it's just the connection is going to reset and you're going to have to just start over again, okay? So in this case, it says the attacker is trying to log into a specific service. So that service appears to be FTP. All right, so it says there's a very popular tool by Van Hauser, which could be used to brute force a series of services. What is the name of this tool? Okay, so if you didn't already know what the answer was, could do a Google search for a tool by Van Hauser. But I use this tool on a regular basis, and I think that this tool is called Hydra. So you can text your answer. So if you're correct, so let's say if I said Hydro, for example, and I put in the wrong answer, it'll tell me in red, uh-oh, your answer is incorrect. And then if you put it in the correct answer, of course, it'll give you what the correct answer is. And if you weren't sure how to answer this question, you could also ask for a hint, and then it directs you to the GitHub page where you can download the Hydra tool. So any questions on that so far? All right, so it says that the attacker is trying to log in with a specific username. What is that username? Okay, so we're going to take a look, and I'm going to kind of sort this by the types of traffic. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it just makes it easier for you to find things. So you'll also see once you start taking a look at Wireshark that you can color code things. So it'll put all of the things that are related in certain colors depending on how you set up your Wireshark. So in this case, it's just using the default. So we're going to take a look at the FTP because I know that they're trying to log in with FTP. And again, we're just going to say right click and follow TCP stream so that we can find out who it is that they're trying to log in at, because they're trying to log in using FTP. So we can actually see if you look further on in the list, but I'm just going to follow it. So in this case, we see that they're trying to log in with the user named Jenny, and we see that they are eventually able to log in successfully with the password 123. So we can put these answers in here. So we can say Jenny is the username. And we know that the successful password is password 123. Now you can see, so in this particular case, we were able to see what the successful login was. But if you check on some of the other ones, and then you follow the streams on that, you'll see that the person tried to log in multiple times and they didn't always have the correct password. So like you'll see in this first case right here, they tried to log in with 11111, and that was incorrect. and then they were able to log in with password 123, which is in fact Janice's password. All right, so next up it says, what is the current FTP working directory after the attacker logs in, right? So we're filtering by FTP traffic, so we should be able to take a look and see, just if we just look at the, oh, let me get out of this stream. If you say follow, it'll go and take a look at everything that's related to that conversation. So it filters it, so it only shows you the things that you asked about. So you'd have to hit the X button in order to get back out to see all of the packets. So if we take a look on the right here, you'll see that the person tried to log in multiple times with multiple passwords, right? And they're using Hydra, which is basically going through probably a dictionary list to try to see each one of these passwords, right? So eventually they get to the correct password, and we're trying to find out now is after they've logged in successfully with the password 123, we want to see what is the, what was the question? What is the current FTP working directory? So we see here in packet 401 that it's var www/html. So we're going to say var www.html, and then we can submit. And then it says that the attacker uploaded a backdoor. What's the backdoor? File name. So we know that after they log in, that they're probably the next command that they're going to do is going to be whatever it is we're looking for, right? So again, we can just do a right click and say, follow this TCP stream and see what else happened here. So we'll see that they logged in with the password 123. It's set the current working directory to the var www.html. And then let's see what else it did. It looks like they have a store of the shell.php. So that might be the file that they're talking about. And then they did something where they changed the permissions of, so chmod 777 gives you full read, write, and execute permissions for this file. And then they, looks like they exited. So we're going to say, it says, what's the attacker uploaded a backdoor? What's the name of that backdoor? So we see that is shell.php. It says the backdoor can be loaded from a specific URL as it is located inside the uploaded file. What is the full URL? Okay, so that's kind of vague. So we're going to take a look, and it says to look for the FTP-data protocol. It says seeing the path. Yes. So if you are using a TCP protocol, so HTTP is a TCP protocol, as is FTP, right? And there is no encryption, then you're going to be able to see in plain text what is the information that's being sent back and forth across the network. Okay. So if you use, for example, HTTPS, it sends that information encrypted, which is not, necessarily saying that you're not going to be able to, find out what the password is, but it's just going to say that it's going to make it a little bit harder for you. It's going to take a little bit more time encrypted. So if it's in clear text, so that's why when we say, what type of ports and protocols are insecure, this is why we don't use things such as like FTP, and why you're not supposed to actually send anything in HTTP without HTTPS, because it's sent in the clear, which makes it easier for the bad guys to be able to get the information that you need. So as a security professional, especially if you're talking about protecting a network, your goal is to try to slow them down as much as possible, so that you can have time to detect them and they're not going to be able to do what they're trying to do. So in this case, it's saying, hey, what is the URL for the shell that's located? And it says, look for FTP-data protocol. So we're going to close out of here. And we're looking for specifically, you're going to get out of the stream because that's only the ones that we were taking a look at. And we're going to just scroll down a little bit in the FTP to look for FTP-data. So you'll see that there are only 2 FTP-data files. And in this case, I sorted by protocol, which is why we have these lumped together. So this is just going to give it to me alphabetically. So we can take a look at the FTP data file. So in this case, we can follow the stream, see if we can find it out there. So in this case, we see that this index.html not necessarily helping us. So I'll exit and go take a look at the other one. So in this case, we see, looks like there is in fact a full link, so we can follow TCP string again. And in this case, we see that there is a URL, and the URL link is here. Okay, so you can copy this. So just a quick note, so you can, just say right click and copy that. What you're going to need to do is you're going to click this little pull out here, this little tab here, click on the clipboard. It'll automatically put it in there for you. Then you're going to want to copy it, close the clipboard, and then you can paste it over here. If you try to just go from over here to over here, it'll act like you never copied and pasted anything. So that's what the clipboard is. It's to transfer information back and forth from the attack machine back to your home machine. So if we click submit, then it'll tell us if that's the correct answer. So any questions so far? No? All right, so then it wants to know what command did the user run after getting the reverse shell. So let's assume that this is where the user got his reverse shell. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to exit out of here. I see a question. How did you get to the TCP string? All right, so you're going to right click and say follow. Say follow and then say TCP string.
So I'm actually not even like I'm on the main screen where it says like root desktop. Like I missed how you got to like where all those numbers are and stuff.
Okay, can you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so did you download? Okay, so go over to the Firefox at the top for me.
You said it's, oh.
Yeah, you can just click on that one too. All right, so type in tryhackme.com. And you're going to want to log in.
Okay.
Looks like it's taking its time. All right, so just type in tryhackme.com, or yeah, you can click on that. See if it eventually takes you. Have you done something in TryHackMe recently?
No, I just created this account today.
Okay. Why is it? Okay, so click on a plus sign next to where it says new tab and type in.
Up here?
No, down, see where it says new tab? Yeah, click on the plus sign right there. Just say google.com. Okay. Let's see if you got a Google internet connection. All right, I don't see any type of movement here. So do me a favor, click on the 3 lines on the top right-hand corner. Yep. And then click on preferences. And then type in proxy. Click on settings. Click on no proxy. Click on OK. All right, and then click back over there to where your Google is, and then refresh that. No? All right, so click on the terminal at the top, see where it says like a $ next to Firefox, it says places, and there's a Firefox logo at the very top on the left. Right there, click on that. Type in ping 8.8.8.8. Oh, I'm sorry, it's ping space 8.8.8.8.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have connection. Say Control C. All right, so refresh your outside Try Hack Me. So go to the top. Yeah, that one. Refresh that one.
Okay.
And then you may have to, if worst case scenario, see at the bottom right hand corner, press up arrow again.
You said the up arrow?
Yeah, press the up arrow where you're at right now. So click on the terminal. Yeah, no, just click in that black screen.
Oh, okay.
And then press the up arrow. And then press enter. All right, Control C. So at the very bottom, you'll see that the power sign. It's bottom left of this thing. See where it says timed out? Yeah, so go down a little bit, and then see this button there's right there. So terminate the machine, and then start it back up again.
Okay. All right. I'll try to figure it out. I'll stop sharing my screen now. So you can keep going. Thank you.
Let me know when you get back there, and we can take a look.
Okay.
All right. So we are only looking for, it says, which command did the attacker do after doing the reverse shell? So let's see if we can go and follow this TCP stream and see if that tells us. So that is schmod. So we're going to go down, and this is 438. Oh, and let's end the TCP stream so that we're in, and we're going to look and see if we can figure out command is done afterwards. So that's when I got it from the website. Let me take a look at, so we are on which command? So if you're following along, we're on page 6. So it's looking at 450. Let's see if we're in the right area. All right, so I followed after 450, which is where we see that they've connected, and then we see that the first command that they run after they got in there is to say, who am I? So that tells you what privileges you have. And then we see that they have www-data privileges. Excuse me. So it says, what is the computer's host name? So let's see if we can find the host name. Oh, okay. So we see here it says root at WIR3. So that's the host name for the computer. Which command did the attacker execute to spawn a new TTY shell? So it looks like they changed directory, and then they went and got a program from Forbidden. Let's see. So here it looks like they're just compiling the tool that they just got. What command did the attacker execute to spawn a new TTY shell? All right, so it's in it's in the same file that we were just taking a look at, which is the top of this stream, which is at 450. And we have the commit here. So we can, again, copy that, put it into our clipboard, collapse the clipboard and paste it over here. And then it says, which command was executed to gain a root shell? So in this case, it looks like they were using they did sudo -l to see what they had access to, and then they had access to they have access to everything. So they just said sudo su, and we see that right here. So when you say sudo -l, it tells you what programs that you're allowed to use. So in this case, it tells us that we have access using this Jenny. She has access to everything as root. Okay, so then that's why we can just say sudo su to escalate our privileges. So we say sudo su. Then it says the attacker downloaded something from GitHub. What is the name of the GitHub project? So in this case, it is called Reptile. So we see that right here. And then it says this project can be used to install a stealthy backdoor on the system. It can be very hard to detect. What is this type of backdoor called? So I am not familiar with the Reptile. So what we're going to do is just open up a browser and ask our good friend. All right, let's see if they give us a hint. A certain type of kit. Oh, okay. based on other rootkits. So ROTKIT. Oh, and submit. Yep. So that lets us in. And then we're going to hack our way into the machine. Let me see if we are doing this today. We are. All right. So you can go ahead and launch your start your machine. So this is going to launch that web server. So any questions about where we're at so far? Tavi, is your thing working now? Are you able to get in there?
Was I supposed to download Wireshark before, or am I able to, do I have to pay like the premium fee to use Wireshark?
Oh, no, not at all. So you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. I gotta get back to where it was. I was about to download it because, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of lost. Yeah, hold on. I tried to download the task files and then it was asking me what, like it wouldn't open it.
All right, yeah. So if you, like I said, if you share your screen, I can show you how to. Because
Okay.
All right. So click on it at the very top. You want to go back to attack box. Start your attack box.
Go to what?
At the very top. See the blue button that says attack. Start attack box. Have you been on here more than an hour today?
No, I just got on like when this session started.
Yeah, because it'll only let you do on a free account for an hour. So I don't know why it's thinking that you logged in for more than an hour.
Okay.
Click on start attack box again. Do you have a Kali machine by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, so well, you know, you'd have to. So click on options. No. And it's not starting it. Do you want to create a new account?
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. So how about everyone else? Is everyone else, are you guys, Michael and Baza, are you guys at this point now, or are you behind where I'm at? No? Okay, you're at where I'm at. All right. All right, well, so you can start the attack machine, and then it says the attacker has changed the user's password. Can you replicate the attacker steps and read the flag.txt? The flag is located in the root reptile directory. Remember, you can always look back at the PCAP file if necessary. Good luck. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to launch our terminal from here. And so they did a, what is it called? A Hydra scan using Jenny. So let's see. You replicate the hacker's effects, but the user's password was changed. So they logged in with FTP. So let's just try to see FTP 10.10.56.209. So this IP address that I'm doing right here. is the one that I'm typing in over here. So this is going to be different from what I have on my screen. So you want to make sure that you use the IP address under your active machine. So when we do that, we're going to log in with Jenny, and our password that we saw works before was password 123. So we're going to try that one. And it doesn't let us in. So we can just exit out. And then when it says run Hydra or similar tool on the FTP service, the attacker might not have chosen a complex password. You might get lucky if you use a common word list. So I'm thinking that this is going to be, the word list might rock your socks off. So this is talking about the rock you word list. Okay, so we're going to use Hydra. So Hydra, I think it's dash, let me go take a look. Actually, you know what? I might just be in the write-up. That would make more sense. All right, so it's just going to use RockU. So we can just copy this if you have this open, or if you don't have it open, you can just copy without the formatting. And I'm going to put it over here. And the IP address that I'm going to use is the 10.10.56.209. So the RockU list is on Kali by default, so you can just copy this, and then we're going to paste it into our terminal. And it's going to run, and hopefully it'll come back with the password. All right, so while we're waiting for that, Tavi, did you create a new account?
Yes, I could share the screen.
Go ahead. All right, so click the X over there on the right. Yep, click on Firefox. And then click on, oh, don't do this again. Type in Try Hack Me into the top and see if that works. I don't understand why none of your pages will load. Have you ever used Try Hack Me before?
No, this was my first time. So, so I guess I could try it later, but I would just type in tryhackme.com and then.
So the other option that you have is that you can download the file and download Wireshark. So Wireshark is free. So you could download the file to your computer and the Wireshark file on your computer.
Okay.
Instead of using the, but the second part you're not going to be able to do because you need to be able to scanning.
Okay.
But I mean, realistically, like, I want you to be able to use it. So maybe you can set up an appointment and we can try to figure out why you can't get this to load.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll still stay on though.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is recorded, so you can go back and take a look at it once we get it worked out. All right, so Jenny has changed her password, and her password is now very, very complex. So we can try to log in with Jenny's password. So we're going to say FTP and then the IP address that we have in our victim machine, which is up there. So yours is different from mine, just a reminder. Oh, wait, and you should type it in correctly. So it says, hello, FTP world. So it wants to know, let's see. Name is Jenny. Password is 987654321. Login successful. So we can say ls, and we'll see that there is an index.html file, and there's also a shell.php file. So let's see what it's asking us to do. We're in Hydra. So we got the password, change the necessary values inside the web shell and upload it to the server. So we're going to get shell.php. To do that, we want to say file, and we're just going to open up a new tab. And if you say ls, you should see the shell.php. So you can say vi and then space shell.php. We're going to go edit it so we can update the values inside of it. So when we do that, you can scroll down to where the IP address is. In this case, it says 192.168. So we're going to change this. So hit the letter I for insert. It'll add the little insert here at the bottom. And then you can delete all of this and put in the IP address for your terminal over here, your attack machine, right? So we're setting up the reverse shell. So we want to know what computer that it needs to check back on. So in this case, mine is 10.10.200.122. Yours is going to be something else. So 10.10.200.122. And it does not, let me see what the hint says. You can also find a series of web shells inside the user shell's PHP directory. This includes the same shell as the attacker used. Remember to change the IP variable to your own IP address and chmod the file if necessary. Okay, so we changed that so we can say escape, and then colon escape, and then that should make the insert go away, and then colon, and then WQ, so that'll save it. And then we want to say chmod 777 shell.php. So that's going to makes it executable. Then we're going to go back over here to our FTP, and we're going to say put shell.php. So when we do that, we should be able to say ls, and you'll see that the file was now uploaded, and it has today's date because we just updated it. So it says change the necessary values inside the web shell and upload it to the web server. We've done that. Create a listener. All right, so we're going to go back over here to here, and we're going to say nc dash, I think it's nvlp. NVLP. I'm going to be so impressed if it really is NVLP. Yeah, NVLP. Okay. So you don't want to say 2305 because in the cell we just said, in the file that we just said port 80. So we're going to say nc-nvlp, and then we said listen on port 80. nvlp. I don't think the order matters. NLVP, and we said listen on port 80. So we're going to, that's probably why they changed it. All right, so we need to say vi shell.php, and then we're going to upload this to, we can just change this to port 2305, because that was like the one that Michael is using. So 2305, and then you can say escape :WQ to save. And then we're going to go back over here, and we're going to put the new file back in here. So we'll say put shell.php, and then we should be able to do our netcat listener, and we're doing it on 2305. And now it's listening, and then need to go visit the website. So when we do that, we're going to go to the website that we identified. So in this case, my 10.10.10.56.209. And I actually called this shell.php. So we can do that. And hopefully, if we look back on our terminal, which is already open, not this terminal, we have a reverse shell into the machine. So who am I? And we are in here as www.data, so yay. So that was the first thing that our attacker did on our PCAP file. So listen, become root. So we saw before that they did sudo -l to see what worked, and then they ended up doing sudo -su. So www.data is the non-privileged shooter. Okay, so we need to do something. So let's see, we got the new password, we logged in, we put the shell up, we changed the port to 2305. We have our listener, we have our connection, we're www.data. Oh, we need to run the Python script. How could I forget the Python script? Copy, and then you're going to put the Python script into your clipboard, and then you're going to paste it here. So when we do that, let's see what is next. It gave us the prompt, and then we're going to say SU Jenny, because Jenny is the one who has all the privileges, and we know her password is 987654321. I don't know why that is not encrypting it, but in any event, so now we can say sudo -s-l to see that she has access to everything. Oh wait, so 987654321, and she has access to everything. So we can say sudo -su, which gives us, wait, did I not do that right? Sudo, oh, there's no dash. Sudo su, and we're in here as root. Yay. So I can see from the thing here, root, that we're in here as root, but you can also say who am I to figure it out. So we want to take a look at the flag, and they tell us that the flag is inside the reptile directory. So we've already completed root, and I think it was in like cd/reptile. I might just go look at the instructions. CD root reptile. Okay. So CD root reptile. Reptile? No? Did I spell that wrong? CD root. CD rep. There is no reptile in here. Yeah, I did that, and I don't see any. Oh wait, hold on. I'm on the wrong machine. I somehow managed to kick myself out of my shell. That's what's going on here. FTP. That's what happened. 10.10.56.209. So we're gonna log in as Jenny. So I already had my control by. So I needed to do my netcat listener again and go back to all right, and then now that I've got my shell, to Jenny. www data. So I think we did the Python. Just why you don't push yourself out of your shell. Oh, it should still be in here. No? Yeah. All right, where am I? www data. Now I can log in as Jenny. And then I can say sudo .su. And then cd root reptile. And then cat flag.text. And then we get our flag. That would have been a lot quicker if I hadn't gotten booted from my shell. And that is the last thing that we need to get for this room. All right, so any questions on that? Let me see. All right, cool. Here's done. So I'm going to help Tavia catch up to where we're at. So if you guys want to jump off, I'm also going to end the recording. See. You're very welcome.